Zion National Park. Towering red cliffs disappearing into rolling fog, trails washed out by the kind of sideways rain that stings your skin. It was supposed to be a quiet morning, just me, my camera, and a newly married couple, ready for an adventure session after their Las Vegas elopement. But within minutes, the sky went dark. Umbrellas that were supposed to be cute, the little bubble clear kind that we all love, inside out. And the couple I was photographing, Britt and Kiff, vanished into the rain. For a moment, I genuinely thought I was alone. Alone in the canyon with just my camera gear, no visibility, in the middle of a crazy ass storm. I'm Heather Taylor, and this is Eloped and Exposed, where elopement photography meets the dark, wild, and unbelievable moments behind the world's most intimate weddings. Today, the Zion Disappearance. This podcast dives into the untold stories behind destination elopements and adventure weddings. The beautiful, the chaotic, and the moments that make your stomach drop. If you love true crime energy, travel, wild wedding stories, and being slightly nosy, you're in the right place. All right, let's talk about Britt and Kiff. Before the rain, before the panic, before the moment that they completely vanished, there was Vegas. Britt and Kiff were the exact kind of couple I love to work with. Low-key, rebellious, fun, romantic, and fully down for anything. They chose a classic Las Vegas elopement at the Little White Chapel with the pink Cadillac. Neon lights, plus all the chaotic Vegas energy you can imagine. From the moment I met them, they had this magnetic vibe. The kind of chemistry where you feel like you're watching a movie. Laughing easily, holding hands constantly, saying yes to every creative prompt I threw at them. Their elopement day was perfect. Their downtown romantic portraits were perfect. Their energy, perfect. And the next day, we packed up, left the neon behind, and headed straight into the canyons of Zion National Park. When you leave Las Vegas and start driving towards Zion, you watch the entire world change. Glitter to desert, desert to mountains, mountains to towering red cliffs. The weather was overcast, but nothing alarming. Just gray, moody skies, photographer gold. When we arrived, something felt still. The kind of stillness that comes right before something breaks. But we were excited. We started shooting immediately in their glamping tent and on the porch swing out front. Then we were off to adventure in the park. As soon as we left, the rain started. Big, fat rain. It was pelting the windshield. We were hopeful that we'd beat the storm in the park and get a few shots in before it got us completely soaked, but we didn't. We embraced it. Their silhouettes against the cliffs, Britt's dress catching in the wind, Kiff brushing rain off of her cheek. Everything was romantic, soft, stormy in the best way. And then the rain picked up. At first it was pretty light, just above a drizzle. Then it became a sheet, a wall of water. The temperature dropped fast. My clothes were plastered to my skin. The cute clear bubble umbrella wasn't doing much to protect them since the rain was coming in nearly sideways. But this is where Britt and Kiff were different from most couples. They just embraced it. They were running around like kids in the rain, kissing, laughing, dancing. It was cinematic. It was wild. It was every photographer's dream. Until I looked down to adjust my settings for probably 5 seconds, maybe less. And then when I looked up, they were gone. No silhouettes, no movement, no voices, nothing but the loud wind and rain and heavy fog. The storm was hitting so hard, the entire canyon looked like static. Well, the parts that I could see. And for the first time that day, my stomach dropped. For anyone who doesn't shoot in national parks, Zion plus rain equals danger. Flash floods happen with zero warning. Paths become mudslides, visibility disappears, and the wind was pushing the rain so hard that everything past 10 feet looked like white noise. That moment, standing alone in the pouring rain, surrounded by cliffs that could turn deadly in minutes, is when I felt fear. Real fear. And the reason that fear hit so hard is because flash floods in Zion aren't rare. They don't announce themselves. They don't even need rain where you're standing. Storms miles away can send walls of water racing through these canyons, fast enough to knock people off their feet, fast enough that there's no time to react. People have been swept away here, sometimes in places that look completely calm just minutes before. Standing there in that storm, soaked and disoriented, I wasn't imagining danger. I was remembering it. I started moving along the trail carefully because the mud was slick and I couldn't see much in front of my feet. The edges drop off fast in Zion, and I didn't want to become a statistic. I remember the weight of my gear pulling on my shoulders, soaked through, everything heavy. My hair was in my face. My hands were freezing. I started running scenarios in my head. Had they fallen, hidden under a rock or a ledge? Had they tried to find shelter and gotten stuck? I even reached for my phone, ready to call for a ranger, which is not something you do unless you absolutely have to. Also, not really any reception there. Just as I'm about to make that call, I hear it. Faint, muffled, but unmistakable. Laughter. I stop dead in my tracks, and that's when I see them. There they were, huddled under a natural rock alcove, completely drenched, shivering, holding each other, and laughing like it was the funniest thing that had ever happened. Britt waves at me like, "Oh, there you are." Meanwhile, I'm standing there looking like a drowned raccoon, having just aged like 10 years. Kiff yells, "We thought you disappeared." In that moment, the fear evaporates, and I start laughing too. Once we regrouped, we kept shooting because the rain had turned the canyon into something surreal. Fog rolling between cliffs, rain streaks catching the light, the softest, dreamiest atmosphere, and the photos, some of my favorites I've ever taken. Storm sessions always bring drama you just can't fake. Britt and Kiff absolutely owned that shoot. Soaked, shivering, and still looking like they stepped out of an indie film. If you want to see those images, the gallery's linked in the show notes. What did we learn in Zion that day? 1, always respect the weather. Even if the forecast says nothing is coming, Mother Nature is petty. She does what the fuck she wants. 2, adventure sessions require flexibility, humor, and a little tolerance for chaos. 3, Some of the most unforgettable moments and the most stunning images happen when things don't go according to plan. So no, Britt and Kiff didn't really disappear into the Canyon of Zion, but for a few wild, soaked, heart-pounding minutes, it absolutely felt like they did. I'm Heather, and if you've been listening to Eloped and Exposed, the podcast where beautiful love stories meet the unexpected, the dramatic, and the downright unbelievable, stay tuned. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time.